Hey there, and welcome to Crushing with Abby O. I'm your host, Abby O'Sullivan. This podcast is inspired by over 10 years in the beauty industry and the stories shared between a beauty professional and her clients. The type of girl talk that only happens behind closed doors or in the chair. Along with hilarious stories based on real life and the dating world, I'll be dishing out all of the secrets on self-care, health, and fitness. As a longtime lash extension artist turned health and fitness coach, I'm passionate about helping you view healthcare as self-care through nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, movement, stress management, and more. So grab a drink and a snack and come join me for a laugh. Welcome back, Crushers, to another episode of Crushing with Abby O. What have you heard about going vegan or vegetarian? Have you heard that your hair might fall out or that you'll just be weak? Well, luckily, Clarissa Gannon, vegan coach and bodybuilder, is here to dispel all of those myths and provide us with some facts and tips about going vegan. Clarissa Gannon is the owner of the online coaching company Elite Fit for Life, as well as a multiple times certified fitness and nutrition coach. Clarissa founded Elite in 2014 and has over a decade of experience in the fitness industry. She founded Elite as a result of her experience in the fitness industry and the observation of just how broken it is. After Clarissa made the decision to incorporate a vegan lifestyle to help some health and digestive issues in 2017, it was quite apparent that the vegan community needed real information and real nutritional strategies. As a result, Elite has become a main source of nutritional information for not only the general population, but also for the vegan competitive athlete. Clarissa holds several specialist certifications and implements full integration of health in all nutritional protocols. Clarissa herself is an avid competitor in the NPC, as well as mother to 4 amazing children and a wife to an entrepreneur. Residing in sunny New Mexico, yet helping women around the world achieve lasting success. Please welcome Clarissa Gannon to the podcast.
Thank you, Abby, for inviting me. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yeah, I am so excited to chat about being vegan, being strong and healthy. I love your mission and what you do. So I'm very excited to share with everyone uh, tips and information about being vegan. So I would love to know just a little bit more background about you and your background as like a coach and how you actually got into being vegan.
It's honestly kind of a really long story, so let me see if I can make that super short for you. Um, I went vegan, fully vegan back in 2016. I had been, it's like through my whole life, struggled with a lot of digestive issues, and so like during high school, I was vegetarian. I was vegetarian through a couple of my pregnancies, and I just always felt better that way. So then I started bodybuilding, and everybody was like, you have to eat chicken and you have to eat fish. And I started getting really, really sick. So it actually got to the point where like I was in bed, I think, for like 4 days after we'd went on vacation and eaten
Oh, wow.
nothing but Mexican food and meat for 4 days.
Yeah.
And so I was like just full of inflammation, and I was so sick to my stomach, and I was like bloated and swollen. And I was just like, I'm done. I'm done eating meat. And so I didn't eat meat anymore after that point. And like, everyone in the gym was like, well, you're gonna lose all your gains and you're not gonna be able to build any muscle. And I'm like, shut up, asshole. And I'll just make
Let me do what I need to do.
yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot of, unsolicited advice. And so I really just started going through nutrition courses. And so I'm a little compulsive about that. And I think I took like 4 in like 2 years. but but I learned a lot, and I also paid a lot of attention to my body, and was better able to see, what foods I responded well to and which ones didn't seem to matter so much, and how much protein did I really need. So like tracking macros was really important. And then that kind of opened up my eyes too, that it's not just like everybody thinks, oh, well, you're only eating beans and tofu, but there's really a lot of protein to be found in your vegetables and your grains too.
Yeah.
So as long as like your your calorie need is high enough, you have no problems getting your protein in for the day. And you are totally able to, have enough protein to facilitate building muscle and recovery and feeling good and, keeping your bones healthy. It's when people come in with chronic dieting and you're trying to live off of 13 to 1500 calories, yeah, it gets a little dicey,
Hmm.
but as long as you're in a good place metabolically, it's totally really not that hard.
Yeah. I think tracking is a huge key to awareness. It's a huge piece of awareness and learning like what's actually in your food. And I think that when people think of tracking, they're just like, oh, restriction and I'm obsessed and it's like a bad thing. And I'm not saying it couldn't be a little bit detrimental for somebody at some point if you're constantly reliant on it, but it allows you to actually see what's in your food. And I'm the same way. I would look and see how much protein's in like broccoli. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. Like,
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Broccoli is a staple. Everybody's like, oh, it gives me indigestion. I'm like, well, why don't you cook it and
Yeah.
eat it a little more frequently and it'll go away.
Yeah, and chew your food more too.
Yeah, chewing is good.
Chewing is good. And so I want to just circle back to point out to the audience that you've been a bodybuilder, you are a bodybuilder.
Yes.
And again, like the common belief is like you must eat chicken and rice to be a bodybuilder. Her
Right.
face, y'all.
Yeah.
I can't see that, but her face. And so that's what I love about that is like you are an amazing example of the type of physique that you can build without eating meat. And I know there's so many people that are curious about that and would think like, well, that's the only way, And so tell me just a little bit more about your journey as a bodybuilder and being a vegan. So you tried bodybuilding. We already said that. I'll just edit this
Yeah.
out. You
Yeah.
already told me that story.
Yeah. In the traditional manner. Yeah, I did try that. I think, let me think, like I guess for about 6 years I tried that.
Okay.
And well, I mean, it worked. I built some muscle, but I
Just felt,
struggled so much with digestion. Yeah,
yeah. So did you just like feel sick and
I
bloated
did.
a
Sick and
lot?
bloated. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happened when you switched to being a vegan? You had shows after that.
Oh yeah, I've only ever stepped on foot. The first show I did, I was vegetarian, and then
Okay.
everything else I've done vegan.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So you're like training before eating meat. And then actually, once you stepped on stage, you were vegan. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's so cool. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, not a vegan. Like, so I am that. I have grown up as a client of trainers, meat and
Yeah.
rice, food is fuel, blah, 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 like, which is fine. But having gone through my own like gut health journey too, really made me appreciate food as a healing source and energy source and just the way that you feel like internally what nutrients are in food. It just made me appreciate all of that so much more. So, since you've been a vegan and you've been a bodybuilder, how long have you been a coach?
Since like 10 years now, exactly.
When did you find your passion for coaching people who also want to eat in the vegan style?
That's kind of evolved, as my own journey has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized it's like, I think it's a real need because if you look into the vegan communities, they're massively under eating and there's the activity, they're incredibly active and some of them do work out. But because of under eating, there is not the progression that they want to see. And so they need some source of reliable information. And I was like, well, not me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I love your Facebook group. I think that's such a perfect way for people to learn more and get that support that they need.
Yeah, no, the group is great. There is a ton of support in there,
Hmm.
and they're really good at encouraging each other. All of the information that's there is real information. We don't promote juicing or detoxing or fasting or any of that
Hmm.
crap that's super common in other vegan groups because there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if like you follow Clarissa on Instagram, you'll see like the meals that she's eating, real meals. It's not a bunch of packaged, processed stuff. It's not just juices and salads all the time. Like
Yeah.
she's eating lots of food and real food. So I love that example. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that you think people have about a vegan or even like vegetarian diet?
The biggest misconceptions that, well, they think it's hard, and that's something that they kind of place on themselves. A lot of the times, it's hard to, if we have people come in that you are from a traditional bodybuilding standpoint, or even just a traditional omnivore diet where you're used to having like meat and rice or meat and potatoes at each meal. There's a real big tendency to lean on those processed foods because there are a ton of substitutes. So having them understand that yes, you can get protein without these other options, that can be another area of struggle. And then just the general misconception that you'll be weak, that
Mhm.
you'll develop nutrient deficiencies and you'll be weak and you'll be tired, and oh my god, this is for real. People actually think that their hair falls out because they're detoxing after they started a vegan diet. I'm like, no.
That could be from so many things.
Yeah, yeah. Generally is due to the fact that like you cut your calories like by more than half and your body is really hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. That and add like in your daily stress.
Yeah,
And I don't know, are you going through any hormonal changes? Like what's going on in your life? Yeah.
yeah, no, it's crazy.
So just for the audience to know, like what is the difference? So omnivore obviously is we eat meat and plants. So would you just for the audience, let us know what the differences are between vegetarian, pescatarian, and then vegan?
Yes. So vegetarians are going to not include any kind of meat. So no beef, no chicken, fish, nothing. They do include egg and dairy products. So, they're more likely to eat eggs and have yogurt and cottage cheese and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, a pescatarian will include or not have any kind of meat, so no beef and no chicken, but they do include fish. Sometimes they also will include eggs and dairy. And then vegans have no animal products at all. So no eggs, no dairy, no meat, nothing. If it comes from an animal, they don't want it.
Mhm.
Um, some it depends too on the level of the person where they're at with their vegan journey. And some people go like super extreme and like won't even include like honey or figs because those they think animals are the insects are being abused in order to produce those foods.
Mhm.
So then that group of vegans will look on, just a regular group of vegans that is gone vegan for health as not vegans, but as plant-based eaters.
Oh,
So it can get
so
like
like
super almost political.
yeah, levels within the level. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, yes, I care about the animals. Yes, I care about my health. I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. You just do you, what's best for you.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's fine. Yeah. Right. Like do whatever, like if that's what you need and you believe, like go for it.
Right.
Yeah. So when people are first starting to transition into this, like if they haven't been for a while, how do you normally help them go about it? Do you like to help them kind of step into it? And then what are some of the immediate benefits or changes that they do notice?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So when people are starting out, we generally try to make it as easy as possible. Number one, because it's easier, and number two, because like if we shift like everything and make the change really drastic right at first, there can be a lot of GI upset because the food is so different.
Hmm.
It's higher in carbohydrates, it's way higher in fiber, and so your digestive system isn't used to that. So if you can kind of ease into that, that helps things overall too, which is going to, just add up to a longer lasting success.
Hmm.
So when they come in, we'll gradually start to switch out things like, and so maybe at first we do use some of the processed things because it's convenient,
Yeah.
and it's similar. And then, as they progress, then we can start adding in, we'll switch out like the ground crumbles, we can switch those out for like lentils. We can start incorporating, more plant-based recipes that instead of relying on things that are packaged.
Hmm.
Um, if they're already used to cooking a lot in the kitchen, we can start with recipes right away, and then it's just learning to make things that are going to fit into what they need and make sure that they're getting in enough variety throughout the day to supply overall nutrient needs, but that we're gradually increasing the fiber. I think that's the biggest.
Hmm. Yeah. If you go from like 5 to 10 to like
Yeah.
45, it can
Yeah. I know, like
be.
my stomach hurt.
Yeah. But when you find that sweet spot though,
Yeah.
it's nice because then when you're regular, that's
Mhm.
nice and it's good. And it
Right.
makes you feel good too.
Oh yeah, for
Right.
sure. Yeah, and that's something all of my clients, like 100% across the whole board, I can tell you, every one of them by week 2, they have improved digestion.
Awesome. Yeah. Which just makes us all feel so much better. It makes you feel lighter.
Right? I lost 5 pounds. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, it's a good poop. Like
Right?
it's important.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was going through gut health, I was eating a ton of veggies, like
Mhm.
more than ever have had in my life consistently, which really opened my eyes to how little I was having. But I was having trouble with eczema. And so I was eating like more minimal protein, and then lots of veggies. And I did have fruit. And then some got like bacteria killers and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't even think I had my supplements yet. And within a couple of weeks, my skin so drastically changed.
Mhm.
I was like, what the heck? And this was, pandemic year with, well, 2020 with too much processed junk. I had been drinking more alcohol than I normally had and was really like low on the self care for myself. It was really kind of just doing the bare minimum, even though I knew I should be doing more. And I felt like crap, and my energy levels improved. My skin looked amazing. I was regular, bowel movement wise, and just felt so good. So I can imagine that your clients are also feeling that way as they eliminate more of the processed foods, and as they're putting things into their body that agree with them a lot, and are feeding them like full of nutrients.
Right. Yeah. No, they do. They all, report increased and better digestion. So
Hmm.
that's that's excellent because that
Yeah.
helps, like you said, it can help your skin even, which is
Hmm.
crazy. It impacts your mood, it impacts your energy.
What lights you up most about coaching your clients?
Seeing their change, like, having someone come in that they've been working on themselves for quite some time and they just don't see the progress, and within like a couple weeks we have gotten things sorted out and they're starting to see positive change, and we just try to continue that trend throughout the coaching process, but just seeing them actually be able to start achieving their goals
Hmm.
and that progress that they have been wanting to see.
Yeah. Do they usually come in with mostly like a weight loss goal, or are there
Yeah,
other?
almost everybody. I mean, once in a while I get a lady and she just wants to build muscle, and that's like freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
you're really excited because you're like, I know how to do that. I'm gonna
right.
feed you some food.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's what happens. They're like, oh my God, I've never eaten this much in my life. I'm like, I know, and look what you're building.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Do you come up with a lot of recipes yourself, or do you have some favorite resources for coming up with like different meals? I'm guessing that you kind of, after all these years, probably have some staples that you go to. Do you have some favorite recipes and or resources?
I have I have a couple recipe books that, I've repurposed over to and I hand those out to my clients for sure.
Hmm.
As far as like for myself, not staples, yes. I have always like beans and vegetables on hand, and like my vegetables I will mass prep over the week or the week whenever I do it so that there's always vegetables in the fridge.
Hmm.
And then it's just combining those with what I have on hand for protein, like if it's, beans, or, if I made extra at dinner the night before. I love I love hummus, which is weird because I used to hate it. Like, and I
I
don't
love
know.
hummus.
Yeah, no, this year when I was taking care of dad, I just it's a little hard to travel as a vegan, and so I like picked up some hummus, and I was like, holy shit, that's really good. And
Yeah.
so I always have that on hand, and I honestly eat like half a container of it. If I make it, I'll eat the whole batch. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's another big staple, and that's easy. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
love the Cedars brand. They have really good flavors.
yeah, that
And one of my favorite like afternoon snacks is sliced cucumbers with a drizzle of balsamic, a little bit of salt, a little bit of cracked pepper, sometimes like some garlic powder, and then hummus, or maybe like a drizzle of olive oil, depends on like what my fat needs are at the moment at that time of day. But that is one of my favorite snacks is like hummus and sliced cucumbers with balsamic. It's so good.
that is good for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
And then I almost always do protein oats for breakfast or
Oh,
like a giant smoothie. And I mean like a
yeah.
giant smoothie. Like every single time I eat 4 times a day. And every time I have a meal, it's at least 500 calories. So I'm not just like snacking. They're
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting like a real meal so you
yeah.
can keep going throughout your day so you don't feel like
Yeah.
you have to have all these like little bites and things like that because that's
Mhm.
disruptive. And when
Mhm.
people think about like having to eat more food, it's like, well, how can I make time for that? Well, you just do because you try to make things more of a meal than a
Mhm.
little snack.
Yeah.
What with packaged vegetarian or vegan like foods. I feel like I know a lot of people or I've heard of a lot of people that use those a lot and I'm not particularly a fan. Like I understand they can be convenient and they can be a substitute if you need to. Just like, if you're having like a regular frozen meal or anything like that. But why can you explain to the audience like why those are maybe not the best option if you are a vegan
Um,
or really anybody, I guess, but just
Really
like as a vegan?
anybody. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think they're most of them are really similar to other, packaged and processed foods, and the more processed ingredients that we put into our bodies, it has that can have a negative impact on health over time. Some of them are better quality than others. I mean, if we're really into reading labels, you'll always want to find one that has like less ingredients, like the less ingredients something has, the better. So there are a couple brands that don't have very much in them, like their pea protein or mushroom protein or something. And then the other things, like you can actually decipher what they are. But I think if there's a whole bunch of ingredients on the label and you can't pronounce them and you don't know what they are, then that's something you probably just want to reserve for like more occasional use.
Hmm.
Sure, they're handy. They are really good sources of protein, which kind of sucks because it would make it super easy, but it's not something that we want to be putting into our body, every single day.
Yeah. 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's
That's
only
something
five.
to rely on. Yeah. Something to rely on for sure.
Yeah.
I get asked this a lot because I actually use a vegan protein and people
Mm,
ask me for like recommendations a lot. Do you have a favorite brand?
I do. So I've been using Sunwire for like 6 years now, and I finally
Mm-hmm.
got affiliated with them. But I love their Warrior blend. It's like pea and hemp protein.
Nice.
Yeah, it mixes really nice. It's like super easy on your digestive, well, mine anyhow.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, I really like it. It's not too sweet, which is a plus for sure.
Yeah, nice. Do you use any like other supplements? Is it pretty normal like vitamins or is there anything
Yeah,
else that you kind of supplement in for your diet?
yeah, no, it's pretty normal. So like a normal person, I take vitamin D and
Mm-hmm.
vitamin C and magnesium and oh, the stress support.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Yeah, limitless.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I take that also. I have the AM and the PM.
I haven't tried the PM. I don't usually do anything for sleep. Like when I'm on prep, there's way more supplements, just because
Mm-hmm.
it's such a big stress on the body. But yeah, for like daily maintenance, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's just the basics.
So if somebody is curious that, I mean, and it might not be that they want to go fully vegan or anything, but what would be some of the things that somebody might be considering if they're going to go vegan? Like maybe how it would work best for them or why it would work for them, like what symptoms or things they might be experiencing in their life that would make vegan or even vegetarian like a good option for them.
Right. I think a lot of it, like, well, maybe not a lot of it, but for some people, the digestion is a real issue, and it's it's interesting to me that there's so many people that seem to have an intolerance to the animal product proteins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so those people, of course, would be good candidates for it. Even just to try it and be like to see if you notice a difference or not. I can almost guarantee you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People that have high blood pressure, what's the other one? High cholesterol. Those are also things that can really be helped by a plant-based diet, because you're lowering the cholesterol going in and you're increasing your higher nutrient foods, the fruits and the vegetables, and the fiber, which help both of those conditions.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
I
Oh,
think people with probably skin things like you were saying, the eczema. So I know that incorporating more plant-based foods can really help clear up a lot of skin issues.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of it's gut related. And
Yeah.
if you're not moving things out and if your bacteria is off, like,
Mhm.
think about adding more nutrients and less crap.
Right.
Like it seems really common sense, but I also do know that it takes a while to become aware of that. And sometimes like a lot of people don't know that those issues are gut related. Like
Mhm.
there's a root cause. Like there's some reason that your skin is freaking out and
Oh, yeah.
it's internal. But there's also a level of like awareness of the amount of discipline that you might need to have in order to clear that up. And
Mhm.
with any symptom, if it's, related to trying to process meat or anything else, or like just improve your overall health, like you do have to be ready to make those changes and adapt to that lifestyle and have less worry about what you're not getting and realize the opportunity of what you do get. Like you have a chance to help improve your health. You have a chance to feed yourself with, the gifts of nature, of vitamins and minerals and good
Mhm.
things that help heal your body rather than like, oh, I have to give up my McDonald's cheeseburger. Man, I get it. It's a grieving period for sure. You have to be ready
Right. Yeah, no,
to
that's
make the
true.
change. Do you experience that with any of your clients? Do they have like things that they end up missing or
Once in a while, yeah. But I think for the most part, like I said, we try to do things slowly. So
Mhm.
our goal is to eventually, move things along, so that by the time, we're eliminating something that they had once really liked, they don't even really care anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, that and like when you're eating enough, you have less cravings for
Yeah.
like saltier or added sugar type foods. It really does help a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Agree.
So, what do you like to do besides coaching? I know you're super passionate about that and your business is growing rapidly. Like, I know you've had an established business for a long time, and I know you're really like expanding in
Yeah,
what you're doing as a vegan coach. But what do you like to do when you're not coaching?
that's a good question.
I think a lot of us are like, but I like to work on my business. But do we? Yeah, I
Right.
kind of do, but I also have to do
Yeah.
other things.
Right. Right. Well, obviously, I really enjoy working out. That's like my favorite me time. And I try to make sure that I do schedule that in well, not every day because I need a break,
Hmm.
but enough times during the week. I really do enjoy yoga, specifically hot yoga.
Hmm.
I can't do that right now because I refuse to go to hot yoga and wear a mask.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm sorry.
I
So,
can't be that hot and have to like breathe on myself.
right, with a wet, like, thing on my mouth. Yeah, no, I'm good. So my body's, like, kind of, not being happy about that, and I do miss that right now, but hopefully one day soon we can we can go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really enjoy walking outside. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I don't know. I think because I've just used walking outside for a long time as, a way to kind of deal with day-to-day stress. And I don't ever equate it to like, I have to do this so I can get my steps in, blah, 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 blah. It is really just, I really like being outside and walking.
Yeah. Walks have become my favorite. Uh, to be honest, they weren't something that I incorporated a ton. I was just go to the gym and lift. But when we were shut down last year, I live next to a YMCA and there's a track outside. We couldn't, obviously, gyms were closed. So, and it also has a field with like there's I don't know how, like, what do you would call it, but there's hills that go down into the field and the track runs like street level. So you can actually run the hills too. And I would go over there and run the hills, a little slope, and do my workouts outside. And now I'm just addicted to like walking the track and getting out and getting the fresh air. And luckily, the
Mhm.
Y also has an inside track. So if I want to people watch too, then I can do that. But it's the same for me. It's like a way to relieve stress. I can get out of my head.
Mhm.
I think about things a lot while I'm out there. I process things. And sometimes it's just to kind of like look around and be present. And
Right.
I think we underestimate how something so simple can actually really help, helps your mental and emotional and physical state. So I love that. Where do you live?
In New Mexico.
Oh, that's right. That's right. For some reason, I thought you're in Arizona, but New Mexico. Oh,
Close,
well,
yeah. It's a
it's,
couple hours.
do you guys get a lot of winter there?
A lot? No.
Ah,
Um,
that's why it like makes the walking nice year round.
yeah, yeah. There's usually a couple weeks where I'm like, eh, and I mean, it's not that it's that cold, it's that it's windy and cold. And then that's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
yeah,
it's just like blowing you over.
right.
Yeah. I've figured out that like I want a summer, I want a winter somewhere sunny because the winter here is like just kills my vibes. I know a lot of people struggle with seasonal depressive like disorders,
Yeah.
seasonal affective disorder, whatever it is, but um it's yeah, I that's when I'll utilize the inside track, but I'll even bundle up just to get outside and like sometimes the brisk air is
Right.
nice, I guess.
Yeah, no, it really is. And
Sometimes.
I think it goes back to that thing. It's just, it's changing your environment. It's making you be present doing something else. And
Hmm.
that's so good for us.
Hmm. Yeah. What do you listen to podcasts?
Not a lot. I feel like my brain is crammed over full,
Yeah.
listening to all the business things I'm listening
Yeah,
to.
we do. Do you listen to audiobooks or do you mean like our calls?
Yeah, the calls.
Yeah.
No, I do. Yeah, I do listen to audiobooks. I have a whole bunch. I'm going through a couple right now on menopause and hormones because that's a
Oh,
pretty hot
cool.
topic in our group.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome. So you're able to help people navigate that.
right.
Love it.
So I do read at night before I go to bed. Like everybody will be out here watching TV and I'll stay out for a while, but if I stay out too long, then I can't go to sleep. And
Hmm.
so I'll leave them like half an hour early and go and lay in bed and read. And that way I can just go like conk right out and then I'm out.
Yeah, that's such a good way to wind down instead of the stimulation from the TV. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of
That's
us could do that.
way better for me.
I just talked with Nick Reel not too long ago about sleep. So
Okay.
we talk about these exact things.
Yeah, yeah. The light from the TV it really jacks me up. So I can't.
Hmm. Yeah. So what do you feel like for in the next year? Like what's your overall mission for your coaching business and with your clients and your community?
So when we had our one day last week, whatever that was,
Yeah.
um, one of the things that we discussed is I need to get on calls with Jason and Mike because I don't have a plan and like I
Yeah.
can't see one. So I don't know I'm just building this thing and I'm just building it and I want to build it bigger, but I don't really know how big.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
So you want to just expand your community and try to
Mhm.
reach as many people as possible
Right.
and just spread the good word about being a vegan and not worrying about muscle loss and nutrient deficiency. Like
Right.
we can have it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no reason why we can't.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it.
The more people that I can impact, the better it's going to be.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well,
Yes.
let us know where our listeners can connect with you on social media. And then I know also your Facebook group as well.
So social media, you can find me on Facebook at my name, Clarissa Gannon. Instagram is Elite Fit for Life. And then the Facebook group, the name of the group is Vegan Fat Loss Secrets because we have
Love it.
secret things we talk about in there.
But you've been having like cooking demonstrations and you do like trainings, and there's so much support and good things going on in your group. I love it. I definitely am one of those like stalkers, you know?
Yeah. Well, stock away. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there's good information in there for sure. And my goal is just, to continue providing that high quality information as much as we can.
No bullshit. I love it.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Clarissa, so much for being on the podcast and sharing all of your information with us. It was such a pleasure to get to speak with you today.
Thanks for having me, Abby. It was fun. I definitely enjoyed being featured on your podcast and being able to share just a little bit more about what we can do as a vegan.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. What a great episode. I always learn something from Clarissa, and I hope that you did too. I don't know. I kind of want to start up meatless dinner Mondays again. How about you? If you're tired of feeling stuck in your health journey, reach out to me. You can visit my website at foxyfitonline.com, where you can see all the information about the programs that I offer and even apply for coaching. We'll get on the phone and we'll chat about your goals and how I can help. Talk soon. Thank you for tuning into the Crushing with Avio podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go ahead and subscribe or follow. And please leave a 5-star review while you're there. Share this podcast with any of your girl or guy friends that you know could use an extra lap once a week. You can also find me on Instagram at abio.fit. That's ABBYO.fit. Talk soon.